Hello, today I am studying for my Accounting 371, which is my Accounting Information Systems class, and I will mostly be doing that through Tableau, which is a data visualization software. So this is like the final exam study guide for 371, so we'll be looking at data visualization. I haven't read the chapter 11 yet, but that'll be next, but going over the visualization part, which we talked about in the chapter 7 course reader. So I'm going to go through first step by step what we did in that exercise. So here is the data that we'll be putting into Tableau to make our different data visualizations. This is the balance sheet for a sample company. It has the ticker, the year, assets, liabilities, equity, whatever. And then the income statement has the ticker, the year, the sales, and the net income. So I already went ahead and imported this document, this Excel file into Tableau. Actually, I'm gonna go back to Tableau and just go through how I imported it. So you're gonna say connect to a file, click Excel, and then I downloaded the file from the web browser I was using so that I could just open it up in Tableau. Cool, so now I have all the data in here. So our first step that we were given was to connect the data in Tableau. So go to connections, which is where we already are, and then we're going to drag in these two sheets, and we're going to go over what key to connect them on. So we're going to connect them on ticker equal to ticker, as well as year equal to year. And I'm pretty sure that's it. Let me double check the data. I think those were the only things that align. So now that we have that, we've connected the two tables. Now part B was to define the data. So that just goes over the different definitions of different data types, which we'll talk about a little bit more. So now we're going to create a visualization. So I'm going to make a worksheet, and what I want to do is count the number of tickers and show my visualization. So what I'm going to do, hold on, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Can I open multiple Tableau files? I know I'm going to want to use count distinct. So I'm going to put just in the output tickers, but I want to measure it as a count distinct, because if I did just a regular count, it would tell me just the total number of tickers as not as opposed to the unique number of tickers. So I'm going to do count distinct, which will show me that there's two distinct tickers. Lovely. And then I'm going to do the next visualization, which wants me to compute profit margin, which is equal to net income divided by sales, and describe the steps that I took in Tableau. So what I need to do is create a calculated field. So I'm going to double click or right click down here and click create calculated field. And I'm going to set it, this is profit margin. And I'm going to set it equal to net income. Oh wait, take out the equal to sign. I always make that mistake. I'm just going to say net income over sales to compute your profit margin. So now what I want to do is I want to show the change of profit margin by ticker over time. So what I'm going to do is, I think I want to drag ticker. Let's just play around with this. Ticker, profit margin. And I also want year. Okay, Tableau hates me apparently, and I don't know why, but what I did is I'm going to take ticker and drag it into marks into color. Just thought I can get different colors for each ticker just to kind of demonstrate a bit clearer what they look like and that they look different. Yeah. And now the next thing is let's see. Oh, wait, that was it for that exercise. So pretty basic, using count distinct of ticker to see how many distinct tickers there were, and then showing profit margin over time by ticker. You can also, make sure I do this right. There's a way to, yeah, you can edit the axis, take out include, it's because I'm dumb, take out include 0, and then it zooms it in to make it a little bit easier to see the differences, and you can see more clearly the different ticker profit margins over time. Cool. Now give me a second while I pull up the next visualization. Okay, yes, so moving on to the next Tableau case that we were given, we want to explore the financial transactions data of a hypothetical company over a fiscal year and create different visualizations to analyze the performance according to different financial metrics. So this is the data field that we're given. It has transaction IDs, dates, regions, categories, sales, expenses, and profit. And what we want to do with this is, includes all that. So first we have to import the data into Tableau. I'll do the same thing that I did before for that, so I don't need this open anymore. I'm going to open Tableau. Okay, Tableau is being a big old pain in my butt, but so we're doing this again. Open up the file. It's loading it in, perfect. And then I'm gonna look at all of these data pieces and make sure that they're the correct type of data. So transaction ID is going to be, I guess transaction ID, oh no, because it's letters and numbers, so yeah, that has to be a string. Date, we're going to change to a date so that is a little bit more accurate and we can sort by that more. Region, there's not anything specific for that because there's no continent field. Category is a string, and then sales, expenses, and profit are all numbers. So perfect. And then let's make our first worksheet. So what do we have to do? Create a sales performance dashboard. Visualize total sales by region and category. Okay, cool. Visualization types. Oh, so we can do two different ones. So first, it's telling us what to do here. We're going to drag region to columns and sales to rows. Here, I'm going to move this over here. Column, sales to rows to create a bar chart. Use the sort feature to order regions by sales in decreasing order. Yes, so where's here we go. So I want to sort by sales in decreasing order. There we go. Amazing. So I just clicked the descending order button. And then for the second one, we're going to drag category to labels. Let's just here. Yeah. And sales to angle. I haven't seen angle before. Pi. Hold on. Sales to angle. Labels. Oh, what I need to do is put the different categories as different types, as different colors, so that it actually looks different. There we go. So now we have the different categories summed up by their sales in different items. These colors to differentiate categories. Would have been helpful if I read that part. Okay, so then next, analyzing expense trends over time. Identify trends and expenses over the fiscal year. So we want to make a line graph. Convert the date field to a continuous monthly format and drag it to columns. Okay. Convert to continuous. So I just right-clicked on it to convert it into continuous, and then drag it to columns. And then, oh, I want month though, not year. Why did it do that? Hold on. Month. There we go. Drag expenses to rows to create a line graph. Use the trend lines feature to analyze the overall trend. Here we go. So I can put in a trend line here, and I just want a linear trend line. So as you can see, it's kind of odd looking at the expenses over time. They're very variable, for sure. So interesting to look at. Next, let's do the profit margin analysis to compare profit margins across regions and product categories. Creating a heat map. Okay, so creating a calculated field. So I'm gonna right-click again, create a calculated field called profit margin, which I'm doing the sum of profit divided by the sum of sales. Lovely. Drag region to columns and category to rows. Drag profit margin to colors and marks to create a heat map. Use color intensity to represent higher or lower profit margins. Lovely. Done. Perfect. So now we're adding interactive filters to allow users to select specific regions, categories, or date ranges. So let me add in a filter to look at specific regions. So I'm going to just put one for region, one for category, and put one for date, right? Range of dates. Cool. So we're just going to go with that. Oh, tooltips. Oh, lovely. Lovely. So the tooltip automatically went in, but I could edit it to display different categories, different regions, different profit margins. That's super cool. Awesome. Now, combining visualizations into a dashboard. So I'm going to go back into Tableau and create a new dashboard. Combine the created visualizations into a single dashboard and arrange them for a coherent flow and add titles and descriptions to guide the viewers. Okay, so let me bring in all the sheets we made. First, I'm just going to put them in order. Okay. So here we have sales, and we have expenses. I feel like it makes sense for those to go together. So I'm going to put this sheet here, put sheet 2 down here, sheet 4 over here, because I think it also makes sense to divide up sales and then profit margin by different categories in a similar area. So we're going to do that. Nope. We're just gonna go back to that, whatever. Now we're gonna retitle the sheets so that we can make it a little bit more obvious. So the first one that we had was a sales performance dashboard. And then the second one that we did was expense trends over time. Oh, So I'm going to retitle this be sales performance by region. And this is going to be sales performance by category. Then sheet 3 is analyzing expense trends over time. So I'm just going to expenses. Expense trends over time. I'm sure people have much more creative names for these than I do. And then sheet 4 is our profit margin analysis. Lovely. So that is our dashboard. That goes through everything that we went through in that Tableau exercise. Here is the finished file where we have, but yeah, there's that. And I will move on to the next visualization. Okay, so next up is from week 12. We did more in Tableau, and the application for that was both a DuPont case that I'll walk through, as well as a 360 case, but we're going to start with the DuPont case. So this is a case that we got from EY. Here it is, implemented the DuPont method. I'm actually going to open this up. Here I have the version of it that I wrote in. Here we go, perfect. So implementing the DuPont method, it's just analyzing the data, looking at the DuPont ratio which we're given. This kind of just takes us through all of that. Here's how to calculate, again, that DuPont ratio, etc., etc. And then this is all still kind of going through the basics of the DuPont model, and then this is where we're actually going to get to the data visualization. So first, we're going to load the data into Tableau, believe it or not. So here's all the data we have. We have balance sheet data, got a ton of stuff there. We have income statement data, so lots there as well. So let's open up Tableau again. I'm gonna again import from a Microsoft Excel file. This is the data that I want. Okay, lovely. So now I have my data here. I'm assuming, yes, I have to link them correctly. So like we did in the first example, we have to link the data, and we have to link it on ticker and year. So I need to say ticker equal to ticker, and I need to have year equal to year. Lovely. So now we're going to make our first worksheet, and we're going to answer these questions here. So the combined, here I'll make this smaller. The combined total assets of all companies for all years. So I'm going to get that from the balance sheet, and I'm just going to put total assets, this column, and I'm just going to say, oh yeah, it is the sum of total assets, and then that gives me that number. How many different companies are listed in the data set? So I think I'm going to want name, and I want this as account, and then I got 523, but then I think, wait, that's not right, because it's multiple counting each of these for each year. So I'm going to do count discrete to get 176. And then how many companies are there in each industry? So I'm going to do let's see how this looks. Nope, not what I wanted. I wanted industry. So industry, and then I want the count distinct of different names. So this is super helpful. Also, if you want to for funsies, you can put the industry as different colors so that you can see the visualization a little bit better. And then if I see here, I can also actually put the count distinct of the name as a label so that I can automatically see those numbers without hovering over it. So I want this as count distinct so that I can see 29, 29, 29, 29, 30, 30. And then those are obviously all the numbers I have here. What are the total sales for each industry in 2013? So this one, I know that I want, oh, I don't need these anymore. Total sales. That's going to take me to the income statement. Here we go. And I want the net revenues. And actually, I'm gonna put that as columns again, I think. And then I want it by industry. Actually, switch that around. I'm gonna, just for consistency's sake, always put industry as the columns and everything else as the rows. So that helps us get there. One thing I like to do for this is sort it by descending order so that that's all correct. And then also put the industry in colors again. And then again, I'm gonna put the sales, so the net revenue number, as a label. But now I have to keep in mind that this is just in 2013. I don't want the total sales for everything, which is what this currently is. I want to just have 2013. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get year, filter by year, and say just 2013. So this should give me the correct number. Capital goods is 873, finance is 697, public utilities is 715, transportation is 250, consumer services is 946, and technology is 636. I think I wrote that number wrong. But yeah, that has all of that. What companies had the most sales over the 3-year period, and what was the total amount of those sales. So this I'm going to do is a separate visualization. So I want all the company names as a row, and then I'm going to say the total just sales. So net revenues is going to be my columns, and then I want to sort it by descending so that I can see the number one company. And then just again, for consistency's sake, I am going to also put net revenues as a label so that it's easier to see. And then I can see that their sales were 1 billion, is that right, billion? 1,431,000,000, nope, 1,431,200,000,000. I didn't write that down, but that was the total amount of sales for them over that total time. Now we have this next part of the case. So which industries are the highest and lowest performing for each of the following performance indicators. For measuring performance, use the median industry performance to control potentially large outliers. Okay, cool. So what I need to do is create some calculated fields. So we're going to create, actually I'm going to make a new sheet. First we're going to create the return on equity calculated field, so ROE, and that is equal to net income divided by shareholders' equity, total shareholder equity. Perfect. Next, I want to create a calculated field. And I want it to be profit margin. And that is calculated by net income over the sales, so net revenues. Then, next up is asset turnover. And that is equal to sales, so net revenues, over total assets. And, oh yeah, the financial leverage, I'm just going to put leverage, is equal to total assets divided by total shareholders equity, shareholder equity, okay. And then again, the equations for that are here. Return on equity equation, profit margin ratio, asset turnover ratio, and the financial leverage ratio. Cool. So now we want to find which industries have the highest and lowest performance for each of the potential indicators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put every calculated field that I just made as a row. I want profit margin, and I want asset turnover. No, pardon, I want leverage. Where did leverage go? Here we go. Cool. So now I have all of those, but I want to get industries as columns. Oh, and I don't want the sums of these, so I'm going to actually go ahead and switch that. I want the median, so I'm going to summarize this as the median, and bigger median. Lovely. So then I have all this, but I just want to look at 2015. So again, I'm going to take year and just look at 2015. So that changes that around a little bit. I'm going to all of them and put industry column. So that'll make that easy to look at. I'm going to find in each category which has the highest and which has the lowest. So what has the highest return on equity? Consumer services, obviously, and then the lowest is public utilities. And then profit margin ratio, the highest is very certainly finance, and then the lowest is technology. Then for asset turnover, the highest again is consumer services, and the lowest is finance. And then lastly, the highest financial leverage is finance, and the lowest is technology again. Okay, let's do that. Which company has seen the greatest improvement in median ROE from 2013 to 2015? So I want year as a row, and I want year as a column. My bad. I want year as a column, and I want median ROE as a row. But I want this separated out by industry. So I think I can put industry also in column, or nope, industry also in column to see all of these. And then what I want to do is again put industry in colors, and I'm going to put trend lines on all of these so I can see how all of them change over time. So here's how I kind of see this, and then which industry has seen the greatest improvement. Let's see, finance went from, oh, I guess, hold on. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Ignore me. I don't need the trend lines because, how do I take out the trend line? Let's just, undo that. What I want to do is I just want to see from 2013 to 2015. So what I can do is take the year as a filter and do special. If I put year actually as a discrete, put year here, and I can say I just want 2013 and 2015. That's how I'm going to do it. Perfect. So now that's all I see, and so that's really helpful to see how much it improved across each. So anything else I did? Oh, I just showed the median ROE as a label so we could see the exact numbers. And so that's all summarized here, so you can see certainly that the biggest change was, it was one of these two. Huh. But one of those two. So highest was consumer services, I said, and then lowest was public utilities, which makes sense, they decreased by, oh wait, technology. Oh, that's different, answering a different question. Never mind. Assume you want to invest in one of the industries based on the data set. Which industries you think offer the highest and lowest return in 2016? So this is the one that I did what I did before. So put the year in columns. Nope. Yes, columns. Put the median ROE. Oh, but I need to take year back out because in this one I want year to be continuous again so that I can make my line graph. And then I want it by industry, so that's another column. And now I'm gonna do the colors again, and then I'm going to do trend lines. So this linear trend line will show me which will be highest in 2016. So the highest ROE in 2016 will obviously be consumer services, and the lowest will be public utilities, which is how I got these answers. Yeah, let's do this. So, what companies have the best ROE within each industry for 2015? Okay, cool. Which companies have the best ROE within each industry? So we're just going to do this industry by industry. Let's start with capital goods. We want best ROE. We need another filter for a year because we just want 2015. The best ROE within each industry for 2015. Wait, no, I want this as median again. Median ROE in 2015. Sort the data. Oh yes, I want all the companies. And I want to sort it descending. So Lockheed Martin has the highest ROE in capital goods. Can I duplicate this? Duplicate. Okay, perfect. So this is the same, except I'm going to filter it by, instead of capital goods, I'm going to look at consumer services. And then I see that it's Caesars Entertainment Corporation. Duplicate it again. This time, let's look at finance. And we have Armanda Hoffler Properties. Very, very interesting. Duplicate this. And then we don't want finance, but we want public utilities. And it's by a long shot Inventurgy Global. That's an insane ROE. And then we don't want public utilities, but we want technology. Their highest was Barracuda Networks Incorporated. And then last but not least, let's look at transportation. Paragon Shipping Inc. had the highest ROE. And then companies that have negative profit margins but are increasing their asset turnover ratio are accelerating into a brick wall. What three companies in 2015 are the worst in that they have a negative profit margin and the highest asset turnover ratio? Ooh, okay. So let's do that. First, we want to look at companies, and we want to look at so I'm going to actually filter it by profit margin. do the sum. Hold on, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's because I haven't put the profit margin in. Goofy, silly people. Hold on. The highest asset turnover ratio. So I want the asset turnover ratio there. And we just want 2015. Maybe. 2015. And then profit margin. Yes, okay, perfect. I want it to be a negative profit margin. Does that make sense? We're getting better at losing money. 3 companies in 2015 are the worst, and that they have a negative profit margin ratio, which I did here by only looking at negative profit margin ratios, and the highest asset turnover ratio. Yeah. So we have Staffing 360 Solutions, Causey Inc., and Dry Ships Inc. And then for some reason, I feel like this is being weird, so I'm going to change it around to be at least 0 and make sure I still get a lot of outputs. I do. Okay. That makes me feel better. Okay, cool. But yeah, that was the DuPont case. Okay, so next up is the, the TechWare case. So this is looking at a different company, basically another EY case. We didn't look as much as at the case in this, and we just did this exercise in class. So let me get to that. This is the data we were provided. It has the type, which is either sales or cash receipt, transaction numbers, applied to transaction number, the customer name, transaction date, amount, invoice date, and ship date. So with that, let me import that to our Tableau. Now I'm going to put the TechWare data into Tableau. Perfect. Create my worksheet. I'm going to answer these questions. So first up, I want to sum up all amounts. Put it as a label too, so I can get the exact number. And then count how many unique customer names exist. Customer name. And I want this as a count distinct. And I want the count distinct of the customer names and the label again, just so that I can have that easily viewed. Lovely, so there's 15 for that. Use Tableau to display the year-to-date trend in sales and cash receipts by month for 2015 with dollars on the x-axis and months on the y-axis. So I want dollars on the x-axis, which means I want the amount in rows and months on the y-axis. Do I want the invoice date or the transaction date? I think I want the transaction date, but I want the month. There we go. For 2015, in sales and cash receipts. So I want to have type as another row. So you have cash receipt as one and sales as another. So as we can see here, sales went up over time, but cash receipts went down over time. So that's kind of the big takeaway from this, is that's no good. Oh, that also works. I could get this, instead of putting type in columns, I could put type in color, um, so that I could just see it all in one. And then what else did I do here? Oh, I summed the absolute amount. So I created a calculating field actually. That was absolute amount. And it's the absolute value of amount, so that I could really see this all together. That would make it even easier to visualize. So take out the sum of amount and put in the sum of absolute amount, and then it's even easier to see on top of each other. So I feel like that helps display that a little bit better. And that was actually the last visualization in Tableau. So yeah, I hope that this was helpful, potentially, looking at the Tableau, etc.